it should be so obvious the kind of threat that they put out there as far as anything to do with UFOs or anything from that could not be from this planet. Of course, I think there's the good and the bad we have to deal with, but the narrative that they're pushing for right now is pretty scary. And the fact that the technology is so advanced that we could literally, our military, I mean, they have these ships. They can easily just come in, pretend there's some advanced race, start shooting, and then what? We're in a war of all wars, basically. So that could definitely happen, and I think you can see it. And the brainwashing, the mind control, my grandfather talked about that too, and that goes into even our medicine and whatnot. But all of that has been happening for over 100 years. So if we don't think, that's why it's so fantastic, like you said, Laura, and Dan, the fact that all the things we talk about seem so extraordinary, so completely out there. We must be bonkers. But look, this.
I wish. Wouldn't that be nice?
I wish I was just making all this up, and there wasn't a reason to try to get this information out, because there's so many of us that are still asleep. If you look at evidence, there is ways to do it, and you just have to think for yourself. You have to go and do your own research. That's the only way you're going to come up with the answers. Don't look for anybody else to tell you. Don't look for me to tell you. I had to do this research for the last 20 years to come up. I was the biggest critic of my grandfather. He didn't just blatantly say, hey, here's all this information. This is the way the world works. No. He said, well, if you're interested, go read this book or go look at this movie. There's a lot of truth to that. That's all I got from him. I mean, that's the smart way to handle it, I guess, if you know that much. I mean, you can lead a horse to the water. You can't make them drink. You can't just force feed people all this stuff or spoon feed them what they have to go and look for on their own.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's where we're at right now. And bifurcation, I believe, is definitely happening. And I think we're going to build communities that are prepared to look at the truth, or at least look at how to improve their lives instead of ways of living in fear and pretty much torture and being blind to all the criminal acts that are taking place behind the scenes. It's obvious. Who would want to be part of a culture and a civilization like that? There's a lot of us that don't, and we're fed up with it. So I think we will start moving in the right direction. So it'll be exciting. It'll be difficult, I'm sure, as well.